All right, Algebra 2 and Honors Algebra 2. Here is your first video for your Chapter 8 game plan. Practice 9.3 questions, page 1. So here's what I want you to do. On whatever paper you have, really any paper, college ruled, wide ruled, a legal pad like I have here, whatever you got, copy paper. I want you on the top of each document, put Chapter 8 game plan. We're going to start with practice 9.3 questions. You might be like, why is it 9 when it's Chapter 8? I got this from the book I used at Mount O. Really like what I printed out here was Chapter 9 there, so it's no big deal. Anyway, no matter what, it's page 1 in the game plan I have for you. So then write Honors Algebra 2 or Algebra 2. Make sure to put your name. You will be submitting this to me eventually. Now, by Friday, I should know about how long we are extended, okay? The chance of us being back together April 8th, which is next Wednesday, looks to be about 0 since the federal guideline is social distancing till the end of the month. So this weekend, I will let you know how you can start submitting your Chapter 7 stuff to me. And honestly, this should just help all of your grades, okay? Because I'm doing almost the entire game plan with you. All right, so what I want you to do, you're going to write these questions down with the work. So at the top of that page, so Honors Algebra 2, Algebra 2, I already have this written down. You're doing pretty much the same game plan. Algebra 2, you have a different page 2 than Honors Algebra 2. But for everybody, page 1 is going to involve these 6 questions first. Find any points of discontinuity for each rational function. So again, pause this whenever you need to. That's what you're going to write down at the top of your page. Find any points of discontinuity for each rational function. Now, the ones that are circled, Honors Algebra 2 is going to do. The ones that are starred, Algebra 2 is going to do. So look, you guys are all going to do the first 6 together. So you're going to write y equals x plus 3 divided by x minus 4 over x plus 3. This is a rational function. Rational number is a number that can be written as a fraction. So a rational function is a function that has a fraction. So, all right, write that first one down. And then here's what it looks like. So, folks, remember, can't divide by 0. Okay, that is a math sin. Should be the 11th commandment. Thou shalt not divide by 0. A discontinuous point makes the denominator 0, i.e. undefined. A discontinuous point is an x value that makes the denominator 0. So here's number 1. This was the original question. What I want you to do always, to figure out what a discontinuous point is, you simply set the denominator equal to 0. If you set the denominator equal to 0, this has already been factored for you. Set x minus 4 equal to 0. You set x plus 3 equal to 0. You get a discontinuous point of x equals negative 3. That one right there. You get a discontinuous point of x equals 4. So you have 2 discontinuous points. X equals 4 and x equals negative 3. If x equals negative 3 or x equals 4, you divide by 0, you get an undefined situation. Makes the function undefined, just undefined, all right, as a whole. That's what I meant to say. All right, so that's the name of the game. Set the denominator equal to 0 to find any discontinuous points. Now later on, we'll name them, okay? There's 2 different discontinuous points. So number 2 is this. So again, that same instruction at the top of that page. Find any discontinuous points. That's the function. Write that down. Pause it if you have to. Y equals x minus 2 over x squared minus 4. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set the denominator equal to 0. First off, I factored it. I don't care about the numerator. How does the denominator factor x squared minus 4? Factors to be x plus 2x minus 2. Then I set the denominator equal to 0. I set x plus 2 equal to 0. I set x minus 2 equal to 0. Then I get my 2 discontinuous points of x equals negative 2 and x equals positive 2. If I plug negative 2 or positive 2 into my function, original function, I divide by 0, which is a no. Number 3. Y equals x minus 3 times x plus 1 divided by x minus 2. Everything's been factored for you. To find my discontinuous point, I set my denominator equal to 0. So I set x minus 2 equal to 0, which I've done over here. My one discontinuous point is x equals 2. Number 4. Here's my function. All right, it's been factored for me. I set my denominator equal to 0. It's been factored, so I set x equal to 0. I set x plus 2 equal to 0, just like I did in Chapter 4. Zero product property, the cover-up method, set that equal to 0, set that equal to 0. I get my two discontinuous points of x equals 0 and x equals negative 2. All right. Discontinuous points means the denominator is 0. Number 5, my function is 2 divided by x plus 1. You'll graph this one next year on pre-calculus. You'll tell me what, when you set the denominator equal to 0, x plus 1 equals 0. You get x equals negative 1. You'll give that a name. It is a type of discontinuous point, so you'll give it a name. And we'll talk about that name very soon. Again, next year you will graph these. And then number 6, which is the same for everybody here. Number 6. The original function is x plus, or 4x. Y equals 4x divided by x to the third minus 9x. I'm going to set the denominator equal to 0. So first off, both terms have an x, okay? I factor out the x that they both have in common, no big deal. Now I can also factor this, x squared minus 9. X squared minus 9 factors the x plus 3x minus 3. The order does not matter. And I set the denominator equal to 0. Cover-up method. Cover those up, set it equal to 0. Cover those two up, set it equal to 0. Cover those two up, set it equal to 0. I get 3 discontinuous points. X equals 0, x equals 3, and x equals negative 3. Now, all of you were to do numbers 1 through 6. This next section is for Honors Algebra 2 only. Write this down, Honors Algebra 2. Horizontal asymptotes. Asymptote is a funny word. This will be used again in calculus, big time, when we talk about limits as x goes to infinity. Horizontal asymptotes, HA, ha, the rules. Number 1, if the higher power is in the numerator, there is no horizontal asymptote. So here's an example, write this down. Y equals x to the third plus 5x minus 8 over x plus 3. The highest power is 3, it's in the numerator. That has a power of 1, that has a power of 3. The highest power is in the numerator, so there is no horizontal asymptote. This graph will continue to go towards infinity as x gets bigger. Graph will go up forever, that is. If, or up and down, if the higher power is in the denominator, again, if higher power is in, pause it whenever you need to, the denominator, the horizontal asymptote is y equals 0. The bigger x you plug in, this is essentially going to become 0. So look at this rational function. X squared is the highest power in this rational function. It's in the denominator, so my horizontal asymptote is y equals 0. As x gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, your y value is going to be essentially 0. Lastly, if the higher power is the same, that means you have the same highest power in the numerator and denominator, then the horizontal asymptote, the HA, is the ratio of the leading coefficients. So some number over some number. Now I'll let you know what that looks like here. Say you have y equals 3x plus 17 divided by 2x minus 3. That's x to the first, that's x to the first. You have the same highest power. The horizontal asymptote would be y equals 3 over 2. In this case, you have y equals 9x squared minus 12x plus 8 over 3 minus x squared. What's the highest exponent? 2 and 2. That's a tie. So your horizontal asymptote is y equals 9 over negative 6. The numbers attached, the ratio of the numbers attached to those highest powers. 9 over negative 6 is a negative 3 over 2. All right, so that is for Honors Algebra 2. And then again, for Honors Algebra 2 only. So you can just skip this part of the video here. And in fact, this is what will conclude our first video for this. So Algebra 2, you guys are done for this first video. I will make a second video over 9.3 here in a second, which has everybody. But Honors Algebra 2 only, write this down. Practice 9.3 continued. Again, we're still on page 1 of this first part of your game plan. You got y equals x plus 3 over 2 times x plus 4. That's your function. So I'm just going to distribute. That means it's y equals 1x plus 3 over 2x plus 8. The highest power up top is 1. The highest power down below is 1. So you have the same highest power. So the horizontal asymptote, again, that's, I should probably give you directions. The directions are find the horizontal asymptote of each rational function. We won't be graphing this, but we are going to find the horizontal asymptote of each rational function. My fault there. So the horizontal asymptote is simply the ratio of the leading coefficients, 1 over 2. That's it. Okay, this is going to be big when you guys talk about limits as x goes to infinity with me in 1.5 years. My next function is this. Y equals 2x squared plus 3 over x squared minus 6. I really didn't do anything. Highest power is 2. Highest power is 2. That is, again, the same highest power. So the horizontal asymptote is the ratio of the leading coefficients, 2 over 1, which is 2. Now, there's something called an oblique asymptote that is not in this situation, but it's something you might learn in pre-calculus. We're not going to really discuss that here. Here, it's pretty clear. Okay. Again, that is the initial. Write this down. Y equals 3x minus 12 over x squared minus 2. I haven't done anything other than to tell you that highest power in the numerator is 1. Highest power in the denominator is 2. So the highest power is in the denominator. The highest power is in the denominator. That means the horizontal asymptote is y equals 0. All right? If I plug in bigger values of x, then y is essentially going to go to 0. Okay? The highest power is in the denominator. The horizontal asymptote is y equals 0. And then number 12 here, yeah. Number 12. Make sure you number all of them, all right? So when I grade this eventually, I know that you've got all the ones that I did in the video. Y equals 3x to the third minus 4x plus 2 over 2x to the third plus 3. Where is the highest power up top? It's in the numerator. Highest power down below. I'm sorry, the highest power up top is 3, obviously in the numerator. Highest power down below is 3. That's the same highest power. So the horizontal asymptote is the ratio, 3 over 2. Y equals 3 over 2. All right, so that is your first video for this first part of your game plan. I will come back with the second part here shortly. This is Yak Math Videos, signing out.